a brilliant man keeps winning on a live game show, leaving everyone baffled by his streak. While the world sees a miracle, he has actually mastered the game's hidden mechanics. This is the true story of how one man decoded the system to become the luckiest man in America. In 1984, Michael sneaks into an audition for the hit game show Press Your Luck by taking the spot of a missing contestant. To win over the producer Bill, he presents a handmade plate of the game's avatar, claiming to be a devoted fan. Michael explains he traveled 3 days from Ohio to California, spending his last cent to get there. He works as an air conditioner repairman, but in the summer, he drives an ice cream truck, which is currently parked right outside. However, the ruse is cut short when Sylvia, the assistant, reveals he isn't the scheduled contestant, and security drags him out. Bill and Chuck discuss the incident. Bill is impressed, knowing audiences love a man with a dream story, even though Chuck remains skeptical.
You're a fucking creep.
When Michael's ice cream truck breaks down in the parking lot, Bill goes to investigate and offers him a spot on the show. Michael accepts, and Bill tells him to show up the next morning in a suit. To save money, Michael heads to a thrift store, intentionally breaks a button off a jacket, and uses the damage to negotiate a discount. After buying it, he returns home, repairs the button himself, trims his beard, and puts on his new outfit. Ready to win big, Michael arrives at Television City for a studio tour led by Sylvia. While the crew prepares for the broadcast, Michael wanders onto the main stage to study the set. Chuck immediately spots him and orders Sylvia to remove him. Sensing the tension, Michael apologizes to Sylvia for stealing the audition spot earlier. She accepts his apology, and the two make amends before the show begins. While waiting in the green room, Michael watches the live broadcast with intense focus, reciting every line of the show from memory. Sylvia eventually calls him and Janie to the stage. After a makeup artist convinces a hesitant Michael to wear a tie, the contestants meet the host, Peter. Finally, Michael, Ed, and Janie take their seats on the set, ready for the game to begin. The show kicks off, and the host, Peter, asks Michael about his life. Michael explains he's an ice cream truck driver and hopes to win enough money to take the next summer off. When Peter asks who is rooting for him at home, Michael mentions his beautiful wife and 6-year-old daughter. Peter then turns to Janie, who shares that she works at a dental clinic. Peter explains the rules. A correct answer earns 3 spins, while agreeing with a correct answer earns 1. In the first round, Janie answers correctly for 3 spins, while Michael and Ed earn 1 each for agreeing. Michael struggles initially, getting 0 spins in the second round and only 1 in the third. However, he recovers in the final round, answering first to secure 3 spins. During a commercial break, Michael rushes to a phone to call his family. Though Sylvia initially warns him that outside contact is forbidden, she relents and lets him try. He calls his wife, Patricia, but she doesn't pick up. The game returns for the high-stakes Press Your Luck round. The board is filled with boxes that flash randomly. Landing on a prize adds to the total, but landing on a whammy wipes out everything. Michael starts strong, hitting $2,000 and then $1,500 plus an extra spin. However, on his third attempt, he hits the whammy. Frustrated by the loss of his entire bankroll, Michael lets out a curse word that's strictly forbidden on air. As the production team scrambles to edit the slip-up, Bill desperately asks Peter to rerun the scene. Meanwhile, Ed and Janie both climb past $4,000, leaving Michael with a balance of 0. During another break, Michael begs Sylvia to let him call his daughter, explaining it's her 6th birthday. Though it's against the rules, Sylvia relents, but again, no one picks up. Janie notices the secret phone call as Michael returns to the set. When the next round begins, Michael's luck takes a dramatic turn. He hits $4,000, then $5,000, and continues to land on high-value squares over and over. In the control room, the producers watch in shock as his total climbs to a record-breaking $24,000. Peter urges him to stop and pass his spins to avoid a whammy, but Michael refuses, confidently spinning again for another $4,000. During the next break, the producer, Bill, pulls Peter aside to discuss the situation. Meanwhile, Michael boldly invites the 2 makeup artists to dinner. They initially decline, but one jokes that she might reconsider if he manages to cross the $50,000 mark. Worried that Michael's streak will bankrupt the show, the production crew pressures Peter to intimidate him into passing his spins. When the cameras roll, Peter warns Michael that his luck is bound to run out, even insulting his intelligence by calling him a dummy to shake his confidence. Michael hesitates, realizing he could lose his $28,000 in an instant, but ultimately decides to keep spinning. With no other choice, Peter and the creators watch helplessly as the game continues. A panicked Bill calls Chuck to voice his concerns about the ballooning payout, but Chuck dismisses him, reminding Bill that he was the one who insisted on casting Michael against Chuck's warnings. Chuck reviews Michael's interview form and notices he used a fake name. The phone number listed leads right back to the Press Your Luck audition office. Suspicious, Chuck watches Michael's audition tape again. Remembering the mention of an ice cream truck, he heads to the parking lot and breaks into Michael's vehicle with the help of a security guard. Inside, he discovers a stash of various ID cards and documents. One name stands out: Lyle Roberts. Chuck calls the number associated with the name, pretending to be a court judge. But Lyle hangs up, assuming it's just Michael playing a prank. Back in the studio, Michael's total surpasses $40,000. Panicked by the unprecedented streak, the producers suspect he's cheating and call for a short break. During the pause, a makeup artist discreetly checks Michael for a hidden earpiece but finds nothing. Inside the ice cream truck, Chuck discovers a collection of videotapes. While some show innocent footage of Michael's wife and daughter, the rest are recordings of every single episode of Press Your Luck. Chuck rushes back to the control room and orders the team to replay Michael's last 3 spins. Pointing to Michael's eyes and his rhythmic timing, Chuck reveals the shocking truth. Michael isn't lucky. He has memorized the board. The production team is furious with Bill, realizing the game only uses 5 distinct light patterns, and Michael has mastered them all. Because Michael's turn has lasted so long, it has bled into the time slot for the next episode. Sylvia is forced to offer the waiting contestants free t-shirts and send them home, as the next episode will now just be a continuation of Michael's record-breaking run. During the break, 2 young fans approach Michael, mesmerized by his luck. He gives them a stern piece of advice: never depend on luck or you'll never achieve anything. After spotting Peter flirting with a makeup artist, Michael finds an unguarded phone and tries his home again. This time, Patricia answers. She is distracted, but Michael insists on speaking to his daughter, Susie. He manages to wish her a happy birthday just as the break ends, forcing him to hang up before he gets caught. Meanwhile, the production team is locked in a heated debate. While some argue Michael is cheating, they eventually concede that memorizing the show's 5 patterns isn't illegal. It's just brilliant. Realizing their hands are tied, they decide to let the game continue. When a staff member tries to alert the CEO, Bill shuts her down, desperate to handle the crisis themselves. Peter announces to the audience that due to Michael's historic streak, they are moving into an unprecedented second episode. To shift the momentum, the producers introduce a lucky home player spin, where a random viewer is linked to Michael's next prize. Michael is stunned to see the name on the screen: Lyle Roberts. Keeping his secret, Michael spins and wins Lyle a luxury trip to a 5-star resort in Hawaii. Sensing the pressure, Michael buys time by complaining about a studio light reflecting in his eyes. In the control room, the chaos peaks as the CEO arrives, furious that Michael has already won $70,000, a payout that far exceeds the show's budget. Scrambling to save himself, Bill shifts the blame onto Chuck for casting Michael, while the CEO berates the entire team for only programmed 5 patterns into the game board. While the crew fixes the lighting, Michael steps out for a break and discovers the phone he used has been removed from the wall. Chuck approaches him, coldly explaining the phone is out for maintenance, before threatening Michael to quit while he's ahead. Panicked, Michael rushes to his ice cream truck, only to find it has been ransacked. When he tries to alert a security guard, he is ignored, and the sight of police cars surrounding the lot sends him fleeing back inside. Disoriented, Michael accidentally wanders onto the set of a different talk show. The host, assuming Michael is a guest, brings him on air. Michael delivers a heartbreaking confession. His goal wasn't just money, but to have breakfast with his family. He hoped that by being on TV at the right time, they could share a meal while they watched him. He admits that after traveling all the way from Ohio to California to provide for his daughter, he feels further away from her than ever. Before he can say more, Sylvia finds him and escorts him back to the Press Your Luck studio. Chuck arrives backstage to discover that Bill has completely betrayed him, scapegoating him to the CEO for Michael's casting. However, a crew member intervenes with a new strategy. Instead of fighting Michael's win, they should lean into it. They propose rebranding the broadcast around the Luckiest Man in America to capitalize on the viral hype. The CEO, seeing the potential for massive profits, agrees and immediately begins calling ad agencies to sell premium commercial slots at a much higher price. Chuck finds the phone Michael used and hits redial. When Lyle answers, Chuck hears Patricia's voice in the background, realizing she is living with another man while still married to Michael. Meanwhile, Michael's total surpasses $100,000, breaking every record in game show history. As the crowd cheers, Peter initiates a live call to Patricia, expecting a heartwarming moment. Instead, Patricia coldly tells Michael to stop playing and sign their divorce papers. The studio falls into a shocked silence. Devastated, Michael drops his microphone and locks himself in a dressing room. The production team is in chaos, wondering who authorized the call. Bill takes a master key and confronts Michael, who is ready to quit. Bill warns him that if he doesn't finish the show, he won't receive a dime. He tells Michael he's become a national hero, the luckiest man in America. Motivated by the fame and the need for the money, Michael pulls himself together and returns to the set. Bill allows Michael a private call to Patricia to fix things, but Michael loses his nerve and hangs up. Returning to the set, he shocks the production crew by passing his turn to the other contestants. The team is devastated, fearing their viral moment is over, but the game takes an unexpected turn when Janie passes her remaining spins back to Michael. Forced to spin one last time, Michael closes his eyes and hits the button, leaving his fate entirely to chance. Back home, Patricia and Susie are glued to the screen, but a jealous Lyle switches off the TV. As soon as he leaves the room, Patricia turns it back on just in time to see the board stop. Michael has won it all, securing the grand prize and cementing his legacy.